So I'm at this diner, busy Saturday morning. Server comes over, smiles, and I look up and say, I want egg.
One egg?
Just, I want egg. Not an egg. Not eggs. Just egg. She stared at me. I stared at her. It was a long 5 seconds.
Which egg? How do you want it? What kind?
I had no idea how to answer any of those questions. I just pointed at the menu and said, that one.
And that feeling, you knew exactly what you wanted, but the words came out wrong. That's what today's about. The phrases that turn that 5-second stare into a completely normal breakfast. Stay with us.
This is Easy English with PJ. I'm Logan.
And I'm PJ. Quick question before we start. What's the most uncomfortable English moment you've ever had at a restaurant?
Drop it in the comments. We read everything. Okay, let's get into it.
So, Logan, what you needed in that moment wasn't more grammar. You knew what you wanted. You needed the right words to wrap around it. And Americans have a very specific way of doing that.
The guy at the next table. I'll do the eggs.
That's the most natural one. I'll do the eggs. Or I'll take the burger. Or can I get the pancakes? That last one is the one you'll hear most. Can I get is everywhere. Coffee shops, fast food, sit-down restaurants. It's the default.
Can I get feels almost too casual, like I'm asking permission.
That's a great way to think about it. But Americans don't hear it that way. They hear it as completely normal and friendly. Think about Mia from Brazil. She studied English for 4 years. Her first week in Seattle, she walks into a coffee shop and says, I would like a medium coffee, please. The barista said, sure, and made it. But the next person in line said, can I get a medium coffee? And it sounded much more natural.
No difference in the coffee. Big difference in how it sounded.
Exactly. I would like is correct. Can I get is natural. One sounds like a textbook. The other sounds natural.
So, I'll do, I'll take, and can I get are the 3 ways to order.
Those 3 cover probably 90% of restaurant orders in America. Pick any one. They all work. Let's try it. I'm the server. You're ordering breakfast.
Okay.
Okay, I'm the server. What can I get started for you?
I would like the French toast, please.
I'll write that down. But try again.
Can I get the French toast?
Perfect. That's it. Simple, warm, completely natural. And notice you didn't say please that second time, and it still sounded polite. Americans often rely on tone instead of saying please every time. The tone does that work.
What if the server comes over and I'm not ready yet? That happens to me constantly. I'm still reading the menu and suddenly someone's standing there.
That's one of the most common moments at any restaurant. And the phrase is short. Just say, I need another minute. That's it. The server will smile and come back. You don't need to apologize. You don't need to explain. I need another minute is completely normal.
Not, I am sorry, I have not finished reading the menu yet.
Not that. Just, I need another minute. And if the server opens with, are you ready to order? And you're not, same answer. Works every time.
Quick question. Think about the last time you ordered something in English. Which one did you use? I would like, can I get, or something else? Just think about it for a second.
And if you've ever needed another minute, did you say it out loud or just sit there hoping the server would come back?
Okay, so what happens when I don't understand something on the menu? Because menus in America can get pretty specific. Smothered, over easy, on the side.
On the side is a big one. Think about Carlos from Mexico. He orders a salad and sees it comes with dressing. He doesn't want it mixed in. At home, he would just ask the waiter to not add the dressing. In American English, the natural way to handle this is, "Can I get the dressing on the side?"
What does on the side mean exactly?
It just means the item goes in a separate container, next to your food, not on top of it, in a little container next to the food, not on top of it, so you can control how much you use.
That is incredibly useful.
And here's the thing. At a restaurant, on the side works for almost everything. Sauce on the side, butter on the side, cheese on the side. One phrase, endless use.
What about over easy? I saw that on a breakfast menu and had no idea what it meant.
Then ask, "What does that mean?" is a completely normal question. Servers explain menu terms every day. Nobody thinks it's strange. And here's the thing. Asking is actually smarter than guessing. You get exactly what you wanted.
And what about when I want to change something? Like, I want the burger, but without the onions.
The most natural way to say it is, "Can I get that without the onions?" Or a softer option is it possible to leave off the onions? That second one is a little softer if you're worried about asking. But honestly, "Can I get that without?" is completely fine anywhere. Let's try it. I'm the server. You want the club sandwich, but no tomatoes.
Can I get the club sandwich without the tomatoes?
Done. No problem. That's all it takes.
Okay, one more menu question that I think a lot of people need, because I see this constantly. You order something, and the menu says served with 2 sides, and you're not sure what the sides are, or if you even get to pick.
Right. And the textbook way to ask is something like, "What side dishes are included?" Which is correct. But what Americans actually say is, "What comes with that?" 3 words. That's it.
What comes with that? That's so much shorter.
Think about Ji-ho from South Korea. He's at a diner, he orders a sandwich, and he sees "served with your choice of side." He doesn't know what the options are, so he just nods and says okay. His food arrives, he gets coleslaw. He really wanted fries. He ate the whole meal without knowing fries were an option. If he had just said, "What comes with that?" the server would have listed everything. Ji-ho picks fries. Done in 10 seconds.
And that phrase works for anything on the menu, not just sides.
Anytime you want to know what else comes with your order, what comes with that? Every server understands it immediately. So now you have your food. The server comes back a few minutes later and says, "How is everything?" What do you say?
It is very good. Thank you.
That works, but most Americans just say, "Good, thanks," or "Really good, thank you." Short, warm, done. "It is very good, thank you" sounds a little stiff again, like you're being interviewed.
Yeah, I keep doing that.
Here's the mental image. Think of restaurant conversations like texting someone, not writing a formal email. Short, casual, quick. Not formal, not long. When the server asks how everything is, they're checking in, not starting a conversation. 1 or 2 words is totally fine.
What if something is actually wrong? Like the food is cold?
That's where people get nervous. They don't want to complain. But think about Yuki from Japan. Her soup arrived cold. She sat with it for 10 minutes because she didn't know what to say. When the server came back and asked how everything was, she said, "Fine." The server walked away. Yuki ate cold soup.
That's painful.
The phrase she needed was just this: "Hey, I think my soup might be a little cold. Is there any way to get it warmed up?" That's it. No drama, no confrontation. Americans do this all the time. Servers expect it. Most places will fix it immediately and apologize.
Warmed up, not reheated?
Both work, but warmed up sounds a little softer and more natural in conversation. "Can you warm this up for me?" is something a regular customer would say.
And I think at the start. That's doing something.
Yes, I think my soup might be cold is gentler than my soup is cold. The I think makes it sound less like a complaint and more like an observation. It's a really smart phrase to know.
Okay, two more things that happen at the table. Refills. In America, is it true that refills are usually free?
At many diners and casual restaurants, yes, coffee, soda, iced tea, servers often just top you off automatically. But if they don't, you just say, "Can I get a refill?" That's it. And at a diner like that, your coffee cup is probably getting refilled before you even notice.
That is a beautiful thing.
It is. And one more phrase almost nobody teaches, but everyone needs eventually. You're at a restaurant. You ordered too much. You can't finish it. What do you say?
In Spanish, I would ask for something to take the food home. Is there an American phrase for that?
Can I get a box? Or can I get a to-go box? That's how you ask them to bring you a container so you can take the food home. Very normal. Very common. Nobody thinks anything of it.
I have sat at tables with half a plate of food just staring at me because I didn't know that phrase.
Most learners have, and here's one more. When the server finishes dropping off food or taking your order, they'll often just say, "Anything else?" The natural answer is just, "That's it, thanks." Or, "No, we're good." Not, "No, thank you, that will be all." Just, "That's it."
And sometimes they say enjoy as they walk away.
Yes, and the only response you need is thanks. One word. That's it. Learners sometimes feel like they need to say more. You don't. Thanks is exactly right.
Okay, two more server phrases before we move on, because these two trip people up constantly and nobody ever explains them.
Go for it.
First one, how is everything tasting? I heard this and it genuinely confused me for a second. Tasting feels like an odd word there.
It does sound a little strange, but it's completely normal in American restaurants. What they really want to know is everything okay? Do you need anything? Your answer is short. Something like, "It's really good, thank you," or just, "Everything's great." They're moving fast. They're not looking for a review. One warm sentence, and they're gone.
And the second one, this is the one that got me the most. Server comes over, looks at your plate, and says, "Are you still working on that?"
Right. Working on it. Like your dinner is a homework assignment.
Like eating is a project.
It does sound funny when you think about it, but that's just how servers ask, "Are you still eating?" or "Can I take your plate?" If you're still eating, you say, "Yeah, I'm still working on it, thanks." If you're done, "No, you can take it, thank you."
Once you know it, you'll hear it at every restaurant. Every single time. Every time.
Agree or disagree. When you're at a restaurant, it's better to say nothing about a problem than to bother the server with it. Agree or disagree? Think about it, because most Americans would say disagree. Asking for help is part of the experience. That's literally what the server is there for.
Okay, meal is done. Now I need to pay. In some countries, you wait for the bill to come automatically. In America, what do you do?
In America, the server usually brings the check when they think you're done. But if they don't, you just ask. The most natural way to ask for the check is, "Can we get the check when you get a chance?"
When you get a chance. That phrase is doing a lot of work.
It is. It means when you have a free moment. No rush. It's polite without being overly formal. You can also just say, "Whenever you're ready," and look at the server. They'll understand.
What if I want to pay separately from someone else at the table?
You can ask when you order. The server may ask if it's one check or separate checks, but if they don't ask, you can say, can we do separate checks? Or if everyone is sharing equally, you can ask, can we split the check?
And tipping. This one makes a lot of people nervous.
In American restaurants, many people tip around 18 to 20% for good service. You'll often see suggested tip amounts on the payment screen or the check. But one useful phrase if you pay in cash, you can keep the change. That's how you tell the server that the extra money is their tip. Without that phrase, they might try to bring you your change back.
You can keep the change. Short and clear.
Short and clear. That's the whole goal today.
Tell us in the comments, which part of ordering at a restaurant in English makes you the most nervous? Is it the first moment when the server comes over, the questions about the menu, or asking for the check? We want to know.
Let's bring it together. We started today with Logan at a diner. Busy Saturday morning. The server comes over, and he looks up and says, I want egg.
One of my finest moments.
And the server stared at him, and he stared at her. And it was a long 5 seconds.
It was a very long 5 seconds.
Here's the thing. Logan knew what he wanted. He just didn't have the words to wrap around it. And that gap between knowing what you want and being able to say it naturally, that's what this whole episode was about closing.
And the gap is actually pretty small. On the side, instead of a whole explanation. I think my soup might be cold, instead of nothing at all. What comes with that, instead of just nodding and hoping for fries?
Small shifts, big difference in how you feel in that chair. Logan, if you walked back into that diner today, what would you say?
I'd say, can I get the eggs?
Not, I want egg.
Definitely not.
Pick one phrase from today and use it this week. Then come back and tell us how it went. Just one. And if something goes wrong with your food, say something.
Also, let us know which phrase you're going to try first. Ordering, asking questions, speaking up about a problem, or asking for the check.
If this helped you feel a little more ready for a real American restaurant, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. New episodes every week, all built for real life.
And share this with someone you know who's going to the US soon and wants to feel confident the moment they sit down at a table.
And remember, the menu is not the hard part. The conversation is. Now you've got the conversation.
Order something you've never tried before. You've got the words for it now.
See you in the next one.